Hi guys, in today's video I want to speak to you about some of the few challenges we have seen as young poultry farmers. I said young poultry farmers because it's our first time to do poultry. We aren't experts, we are trying out our passion. So farming, like any other business, has challenges, so I intend to share with you some of them in this video. Don't click off, kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like this video, and let's begin. My name is Asperia and I'm in my poultry house. I prefer doing videos from here because the sound that these birds make is a whole life. Like, it gives me that vibe that I'm a poultry farmer that I always dreamt of in my childhood. And so since we started farming, we have had a lot of challenges. And guys, sometimes farmers never tell us these challenges. You feel so excited whenever we see videos of successful farmers, how I started my project, how I did this, how I collect eggs, but sometimes they don't tell us some of the challenges that they go through, especially in farming on the farm. So I'm here for you. I'm that friend of yours. I will not hide anything from you. So since we started farming, we started our birds from day one. And everyone knows that brooding is such a time that is not easy. And once brooding is not done well, you can even lose the entire farm. Like, you can lose all the birds during that period. So we were lucky that during brooding, God gave us that grace. We did brood our birds properly, and we did not lose birds during brooding. However, shortly after brooding, when we were done with brooding and the birds had started, moving around the house, we had removed the brooder. Accidentally someone stepped on the bird,
and today's video
that bird died. That was a loss because each bird is very expensive. We buy them at day one, but it is apparently we bought our birds at 4,900 Uganda shillings. Now that excludes transport. So if you add transport, go and pick them and everything, it equates to 5,000 Ugandan shillings. So that means you buy a bird day one at 5,000 Uganda shillings. So you brood it. During brooding, we give them feeds. We give them glucose on day one. Then we give them pre-starter feeds, and those feeds are also not cheap. They're expensive. So that means if we brood these birds for 3 weeks, these birds have eaten a lot of money. Losing even one bird is almost like losing a whole 10,000 Uganda shillings. So we lost one bird just like that. And when these birds continued to grow, when they reached around week 7, that we got a disease that we did not know even how to identify. Of course, we had done research about poultry diseases and we knew how they show up, but we weren't that so sure in the practical part of it. So our birds fell sick. They got a disease called infectious coryza, and they got really sick, and one bird could not make it died. That means we lost 2 birds. Guys, that is a lot of money, for a beginner. If that means if we started with 120 birds, we remained with 118. So life continued, and as you know, feeds are expensive. Sometimes prices fluctuate. You find maize bran today is 500, tomorrow is 700, the other day is 900. So you keep on having that kind of struggle. And sometimes also the concentrates can also increase in prices. So those are some of the challenges. Then another challenge that we have, when these birds started laying eggs, of course we did debeak them. We did debeaking and we chopped off their mouths. So if I show you one bird right now, you see it does not have, we did debeak them. But I honestly do not know how these birds chew their eggs. So recently we have noticed there was a drop in egg production, and where we could not trace it, like what was happening. Of course, there was this disease coming up, but we tried to treat them. They weren't so sick, but still there was a drop in the production of eggs. some birds were not laying. We thought some birds were not laying, but little did we know that these hens were chewing the eggs. So when we came to pick the eggs, we found that they were eating them. They knock them until they open them, and they make sure they chew even the eggshells. So in a day we could lose even like 4 eggs. You guys, farming is not for the weak. So at some point I felt like rechopping their mouth again, because you feel like you've done this, you've done that, but everything, keeps coming. And also another challenge is that during vaccination, especially now that these birds are laying, the vaccination we have to give them, we have to vaccinate them against Newcastle disease every month. But every time we do vaccinate, they get stressed a lot. They do fear that vaccination. It is just eye drop, but they fear, they have stress, and that causes a reduction in egg production, and it is also another big threat. So then another challenge that we faced, diseases come in here and there, and those are some of the things that when you're budgeting for poultry, we usually do not put them on budget. They get sick, before you know it, they need a lot of money to treat. But we keep on pushing. And then another challenge that we have faced, we have dogs around. Now these dogs at home, they are for security. We have 3 big dogs, but these birds, every time it is at night, dogs come and start disturbing them, and that causes a lot of stress to them. Like a whole night the dogs surround their houses and they start peeping at them, and these birds, they want their privacy, and the moment they do that in the morning, we always find there is a drop also in production. So these are some of the challenges that we have faced so far on our farm, but still they cannot scare us. We have to continue doing this, and I encourage you that if you have farming on your heart as your dream business, it's high time you started and start small so that you can learn. I believe you found this video helpful. If you have, please like the video, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe.